Shalom. Before I begin, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, El-Shai, Ba'ashem, HaKadosh, and everyone honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone, and shalom to the high king teaching this word, Dr. Four Corners, in true sincerity. I'm back with another lesson through the spirit by Yahweh, Ba'ashem, El-Shai, and Lord willing to be edifying unto the elect. Right, the true name of God is Yahweh, which means he is or he exists. The name of his son is Yahweh Shai, which means he saves or he delivers. All right, it's not Jesus, it's Yahweh Shai. All right. All right. So we call upon the names Yahweh, Bahashem, and Bahashem means in the name Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right. With that being said, the topic of this lesson, is going into how, the prophets are the true leaders of the nation of Israel. All right. Because that's how the Lord set it up to be. The Lord can set up a king, but that king is meant to, serve the Lord, but he's meant to be over, the people, but who's over the king, okay? The prophets of the Lord. The prophets are over the kings, the princes, because, our message is coming straight from Yahweh Shai Shai. If you're not listening to, us, you're not listening, to the Lord. All right, it was said in the gospel, it's not, when Yahweh Shai said it's not me, they haters. All right. It's like it. We just sent to do a job. All right, we sent to teach and tell our people, the right, from the wrong. All right, so they're not taking heed to us. All right, they're not taking heed to, the Lord. All right. Lucky. I'm trying to get. All these is good. Like John 6:38, it says, "For I came down from heaven not to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me." So even when Yahweh Shai was on the scene, he knew that his job was to do the will of Yahweh, the Father. All right, it's to do the will of Yahweh, and those that didn't want to take heed to him, he was to take heed to, the Father. So, liken this sense to the prophets. All right, we're sent to do the will of Yahweh Shai Shai. And to tell and what's the will of the Lord to teach his people, tell his people right from wrong, and to lead them. All right, to lead them in the correct, path. All right, because they going off. So if you're not taking heed to us, you basically not taking heed to, the Lord. All right, that's why when, like it says in 2 Chronicles 36:15, it says, "And the Lord Yahweh, God of their fathers, sent to them by his messengers." Right, so we're carrying a message, all right, from, again, Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai, rising up beat times and sending them because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place. But they mocked the messengers of the Most High and despised his words and misused his prophets until the wrath, of the Lord Yahweh arose against his people till there was no remedy. All right, so, you don't want to take heed to the prophets. All right, you're just going to get judged, as simple as that, without mercy. All right. Because when we speak, all right, we just messengers. This is not prideful at all. When we speak, you're supposed to listen, ideally. Even with, Samuel, all right, when they told Samuel, the dogs comes peaceably. Just like it. Okay, spell today. It's 1 Samuel 16 and 4. It says, "And Samuel did that which the Lord Yahweh spake, and came to Bethlehem, And the others of the town trembled at his coming and said, Comest thou peaceably? And he said, Peaceably I am come to sacrifice unto the Lord Yahweh. Sanctify yourselves and come with me to sacrifice. To the sacrifice. And he sanctified Jesse and his sons and called them to the sacrifice. So, you know, when the prophets come, you're supposed to take, heed. All right. All right. Because again, we carry a very important, message. This is a divine, message. All right, from the Lord. Not all men are blessed with the gift to, be in our position. All right. So knowing that, your mindset is to be like, all right, what is the prophets, saying, so I can listen. All right, that in itself is a form of what? Leadership. All right, that's a form of leadership. All right. Like for example, dealing with David and Nathan the prophet, when David had, did what he did, causing name slipping my mind, causing the man to get put to death by putting him in the front lines. And the prophet Nathan came unto him and basically gave him a parable. All right, told him basically what he's doing was wrong. All right, him being in that him Nathan being a prophet and telling him that. All right, nobody else could have told him that, right? Because Nathan is a prophet and his message is coming from the Lord. Automatically, we're set over, the kings. Even in Jeremiah, the first chapter, all right, first Jeremiah 1 and start at 9 says, Then the Lord Yahweh put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And the Lord Yahweh said unto me, Behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms to root out and to pull down and to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant. So again, it's over the nations. All right. The Lord has set his men over the nations because his message, what the Lord has to say, is more important. No matter what king or nation thinks. All right. All right. Your words doesn't go above. Your words doesn't go above the commands of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right. I really should start it at 5, but I'm gonna read it. It says, Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. All right, so that's likened unto a wise man. All right, we're sent. All right, unto these nations. All right, to tell them the good or the bad news. All right. And it's always been like that, throughout time. We've been set over, kings and nations to prophesy, all right, of, the danger to come, or just to, lead, right, like Samuel, all right. And the precept is Baruch, chapter 2 and 1. It says, Therefore the Lord hath made good his word, which he pronounced against us and against our judges that judge Israel, and against our kings, and against our princes, and against the men of Israel and Judah. So, the prophets are above the kings, are above the high men, the princes, are the elders. Okay? Because it's not us that's speaking, it's the Lord. All right? And when you go in the chat, it says, are the prophets leaders? Short answer, yes. Prophets are leaders, but in a very specific way. Right? Because we have a very specific, job. Our job is to teach our people. It says prophets weren't kings or generals most of the time. The leadership was moral and spiritual, not political. Here's how they lead. It says spokesmen from the Most High. They delivered the Most High's Yahweh's message, even when it was unpopular. They are correctors of leaders. Right? I mentioned, Nathan. All right, Nathan the prophet. They confronted kings, priests, and nations when they went off course. All right, the job of a prophet. It says guides for the people, calling back to righteousness, justice, and obedience. All right, namely our people. The Lord has sent us for the nation of Israel, which is a rebellious, nation. All right, a regular person can't do that. You got to be of some type of order, some type of, rank. All right, being a prophet is not a regular thing. All right, the Lord has set us over our people. All right, even in the sense of, a shepherd and a sheep. All right, we're like unto shepherds. to sheep. Our sheep is our people, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. So they're warning voices, announcing consequences, and calling for repentance. Just think of Moses, Samuel, Elijah, Isaiah, Jeremiah. It says none ruled by force, but their words shape nations. So kings led by power, priests led by ritual, prophets led by truth and accountability. It says that kind of leadership is dangerous, lonely, and often rejected, but it's still leadership. So, it's still a leadership, role in a sense. All right, because if you don't take heed to, the prophets, you basically not taking heed to the Lord. All right, you're not taking heed to the Lord. Okay, because we just a mouthpiece. We just a mouthpiece of what the Lord wants to say. All right, like it says in from Jeremiah 20:8 says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries, and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. So, prophesying against many countries is always a role of a prophet, and to warn them of what's to come and tell them that war and pestilence and perilous times are coming. All right. But with that long lesson was, edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, El-Shah, Ba'ashem, HaKadosh, and the bonus of the apostles, and elders, great males, shalom to the Akim, teaching his word throughout the four corners, and truth and sincerity. He pushed Yahweh out of there, shalom.